Welcome to Ask Ms. ERP. The topic of this video is how to strategize ERP training. Hello everyone, Ms. ERP here. As in the previous video on communication, this topic covers both project and post-go-live ERP training. As with anything, you are more likely to get somewhere if you know where you want to go. You could build a training strategy as part of an ERP upgrade or implementation, and then adjust it for sustainment. If you are moving to a SaaS ERP, remember that they can get mini upgrades as often as monthly, so you could be adjusting your business processes all the time, and your user training should try and keep up. We are moving to a world of constant change. So in this video, I will talk about how to build a training strategy that should work for the long term. In the next video, I will give you some ideas on how to execute on that strategy. To figure out your goals, you need to identify your stakeholders. Ideally, you already have an ERP governance committee in place. See videos 21 and 22 for more on that. But regardless, the business leaders of all functions using the ERP are a good place to start. In a perfect world, developing a training strategy would be led by a business group, but it could be facilitated by IT in their cross-functional position. Basically, you need the folks who must participate in ERP decision-making and will be providing resources. Then ask the big questions of this group. What are you trying to achieve with ERP training? What opportunities exist and what constraints should you consider? The primary goal of any training strategy should be to minimize productivity loss. So in the case of a new or changing ERP application, this means that your staff are able to adapt easily and are equipped to perform their roles effectively and efficiently. You would like to be sure that your staff have a consistent level of competency to perform their roles. Your ERP users should be fully enabled with whatever tools they need to be able to say, I know what to do, and if I don't, I know where to look for help. If you are thinking about how to deliver ERP training, you probably have found some gaps. Usually, you can identify opportunities via a few different ways. First, your ticketing system could help you. It is likely that some of your tickets are getting classified as how-tos or user training or something similar to help you see patterns to identify common issues that may require communication or training refreshers. Another red flag to investigate for a possible training opportunity is repetitive data quality errors that need correction. Your business teams are in the best position to be aware of something that was missed during the implementation or to recognize recurring end-user questions. The subject matter experts or super users could probably advise on training needs too. Or a well-worded survey to end users could be used to measure process adoption and collect end-user feedback. Company chat can be tried too, but you have to be innovative and make it a game or something to get people to answer. However you identify ERP training opportunities is up to you, but I am sure you will find at least a few. Ideally, the highest needs will drive training development and delivery, so prioritize that list based on business value return if possible. Remember, now is the time to think about measures of success. How will you know if your strategy is working? Well, the most obvious measure is a reduction in tickets that are closed with a reason of how-to or user training. If you are getting common data quality errors, hopefully those numbers are reducing. Make sure you take a baseline to measure against. Harder to quantify, but you should also see smoother business adoption for any changes or new processes, resulting in more time to be able to be spent on value-add activities. You could also ask for feedback for any training delivered, whether automated, virtual, or face-to-face. always good to lay out responsibilities early when executing on a strategy. Training really does need to be owned by the ERP business process owners in your company. As it is best to have business-driven delivery, they would be responsible for working with line business units to modify training materials or other documentation to reflect changes, enhancements, and business process impact. They also need to support super user training and facilitate formal training sessions when required. The business subject matter expert or super user would be expected to manage the on-the-job support to staff in their business areas as required, and partner with the business process owners on delivery of formal training sessions where required. You should ensure that deep knowledge is being passed on by utilizing business super users as trainers wherever possible. They should not have to do logistics, though. More about that in a moment. Supervisors are responsible to ensure that their staff know where to find resources and how to get the training needed for their roles. In an ideal world, your company has a training department with someone who could be a training coordinator. Depending on what you're trying to do, even just the logistics of managing training can get complicated. Someone does need to take accountability for orchestrating it all and can help with ensuring a consistent look and feel to all training materials. You should also have a document artifact curator for your central intranet support site. More about that in the next video. And this accountability may fit nicely with a training coordinator accountability. Just a suggestion. Sometimes IT ends up in the training coordination role, which is fine if someone has the time and the right skills to do it. Again, the delivery of training should be done by the business. IT also needs to manage a training environment, as mentioned in video number 33 on environments. Ideally, this is a dedicated environment with near production data as a place to provide company and job context-specific training. Remember to refresh the training environment regularly to keep it in sync with production. Depending on what you're doing, you may need another environment to be able to implement more complex tasks, such as new functionality. All learners can benefit from a safe practice place to internalize and solidify new knowledge and skills. So, with this, you have a strategy and a guideline of who is going to do what. I will go into some detail on how you might want to execute on your ERP training strategy in the next video. Remember, the focus is to maximize productivity to ensure that your company is getting the most value out of their investment in ERP technology. This concludes the How to Strategize ERP training topic. There is a link on askmserp.com to email me to ask questions or suggest topics for future videos. Or you can just add comments on any YouTube video. Please subscribe to my channel. Thanks, and see you on the next video.